I didn't mean to fall for him. Hell, I didn't even mean to give him the gift. It was supposed to go to someone else, anyone else, but the second he ripped open that red envelope in front of the entire class, my heart stuttered in a way I couldn't deny. And the worst part? He smirked, the kind of smirk that said he knew exactly what this meant, even if I swore it was all a mistake. America's suburbs were not kind to boys like me, boys who felt too much and hid behind quiet smiles. The rebel, however, he owned every room he walked into. J. Carter leather jacket, knuckles bruised from fights, late-night detentions stacked like trophies. He wasn't the kind of boy you accidentally confess to. But that Valentine card with my shaky handwriting was already in his hands, and suddenly, everyone was staring. He leaned back in his chair, raising the envelope like a victory flag. Well, he drawled, his voice lazy but sharp enough to cut. Looks like someone's got a crush. My classmates erupted in laughter, some gasps, some teasing whistles. My face burned crimson, my throat clenched. I wanted to vanish, but Jay didn't laugh. His dark eyes lingered on me, and for a moment just a second swore I saw curiosity there, not mockery. I ran out of the room before I could find out. The days that followed were torture. Hallways whispered with my name. Desks carried scribbles of hearts and arrows pointing to Jay's seat, and I couldn't escape the way he looked at me. Not cruel, not mocking, just steady, unreadable. It was worse than if he'd ridiculed me outright. At home, my mom asked why I barely touched dinner. I lied. At night, I stared at the ceiling, remembering the way his fingers brushed that envelope open. I hated myself for hoping he'd keep it. Then one evening, as I was shoving books into my locker, he appeared. Close. Too close. His presence always carried this reckless electricity, the smell of cigarettes clinging to his jacket. You run fast, he murmured, leaning against the locker door so I couldn't shut it. I stammered. But he cut me off with a small chuckle. You think I didn't notice? The way you look at me in class, like you're trying not to. His voice was softer now, and it terrified me more than his smirk ever could. I swallowed hard, gripping the edges of my notebook. It was a mistake. That gift, it wasn't for you. He tilted his head, studying me like I was a puzzle he wasn't sure he wanted to solve. Maybe, but it's mine now. His hand tapped his jacket pocket, where I glimpsed the corner of that red envelope. My chest tightened. He'd kept it. Weeks passed, and against all logic, we started talking. It began with small things: slide into the seat next to me in the cafeteria, steal half my fries, ask about the book I was reading. I hated how much I craved those moments, how my heart leapt when his arm brushed mine. But Jay Carter wasn't a boy you built futures with. He was a storm, unpredictable and wild. Rumors followed him like shadows, fights, girls, nights at the skate park that ended with flashing police lights. My friends warned me, begged me to stay away. And yet, he'd show up at my doorstep on rainy nights, drenched and shivering, muttering that he just needed to be anywhere but home. I let him in. We'd sit in silence on my bedroom floor, listening to the hum of the heater, his head resting against the wall. Those were the nights I saw the cracks in his armor, the fragile boy hiding under all the rebellion. One night, he whispered, "You're the only one who doesn't expect me to be something I'm not." His voice shook, and my chest ached with a kind of love I wasn't ready to admit. But the world noticed us, and it didn't forgive. Whispers turned into cruel jokes. Notes shoved into my locker that read freak, fag, mistake. Teachers turned blind eyes when shoulders slammed me into lockers. Jay fought back. Every insult hurled my way lit a fire in his fists. But the more he defended me, the more he became the target too. One afternoon, after another fight left his knuckles raw and his lips split, I screamed at him. "You can't keep doing this. You'll get expelled, Jay. You'll ruin everything." His jaw tightened, his eyes burning. "What do you want me to do? Let them hurt you? Pretend I don't care?" My voice cracked. "Maybe you should." The silence that followed was worse than any shouting. He stepped back, shaking his head like he didn't recognize me. "You don't get it, do you? You're not just some mistake I'm keeping. His voice broke. "You're the only thing I've got that feels real." I wanted to hold him. Instead, I turned away. We didn't speak for days. The absence hollowed me out, like I'd ripped out my own heart. Every hallway without him was a graveyard of unspoken words. Then Valentine's Day came again. The classroom buzzed with pink streamers and candy hearts. Laughter and paper cards exchanged like currency. I sat in the corner, pretending to read, pretending not to notice the empty seat where Jay usually slouched, until the door burst open. He walked in late, bruised cheek, messy hair, carrying something clutched awkwardly in his hands, a small box wrapped in crumpled red paper. The room went silent. He didn't care. His eyes found mine instantly, like there was no one else there. He dropped the box on my desk. My hands trembled as I unwrapped it. Inside was a tiny plastic ring, the kind you'd win from a gumball machine. "It's stupid," he muttered, shoving his hands into his pockets. "But it's all I could get. I don't want you thinking that card was a mistake." Not to me. The class erupted again. Laughter, mockery, but I didn't hear them. Not this time. My throat tightened, tears stinging my eyes. I stood, closing the distance between us, and before my fear could stop me, I kissed him. It wasn't perfect, too quick, too shaky, but it was ours. And for the first time, the world's noise faded away. That kiss didn't erase the stares, the whispers, the weight of a world not ready for boys like us. But it gave us something stronger. Promise. A fragile beginning. Later that night, as we sat on the hood of his car under the glow of a suburban street lamp, he slipped the plastic ring onto my finger. It fit awkwardly, cheap and silly, but my chest swelled with warmth. "You're mine now," he whispered, softer than I'd ever heard him. And for once, I didn't feel like I was making a mistake. I felt like I was finally living the truth. The rebel and the quiet boy. Two hearts colliding in the most unexpected way. Our love wasn't easy, and it wouldn't be. But as I leaned into him, his arm wrapping protectively around me, I knew one thing with absolute certainty. Sometimes the best Valentine's gifts are the ones you never meant to give. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.